What's going on, Broncos country? Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, breaking down an interesting topic that I've seen floated around, and I want to discuss it with all of you, and that is whether or not the Broncos should go out and sign Saquon Barkley. Now, today's show is being filmed before I go on a week-long vacation, so if any Barkley news happens and things sound a little bit off, just bear with me. But I think the conversation really should start not with Barkley, but with Javonte Williams, because why sign Barkley if you've got a good running back? Well, unfortunately, I don't know if Sean Payton is all that sold on Javonte Williams. He's going to be coming off a major knee injury, and he's only played in a season in 4 games, and he looked good his rookie year. I don't think he was lighting the world on fire to start 2022, right? Only 47 carries, 204 yards, and one really sad fumble against the Seahawks. But I think at the end of the day, Javonte Williams is going to miss a chunk, if not most, of the 2023 season. He suffered a major knee injury that's going to be probably close to a 12-month recovery in week 4. That puts him on track for a late October, maybe even dips into early November return. And also the next year, 2024, it's the last year of his contract. So if Denver is not all that sold on him and he's going to miss a lot of this year, well, they're only going to have one last season to put together a decision on whether or not he is their running back moving forward. So I think Javonte Williams does play a major factor in what Denver wants to do. Are they in on Williams, or are they kind of out following the injury, a big one, and his rookie contract's going to expire soon? And that's kind of half the fun of having a running back, is you want them on their rookie contract so you don't have to pay top dollar in free agency. So let's talk Saquon Barkley now, though. Let's discuss the idea of the Broncos being a favorite, a destination target, or a destination spot for Saquon Barkley in NFL free agency, because he's coming off a fantastic year, as everyone does when they're in a contract season. 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. He motored them to the playoffs, including a playoff win in Minnesota. Now, some Vegas odds are out there on Barkley's next team if it's not the New York Giants. And they might franchise tag him, and maybe they already have by the time you're watching this. But if he is not franchise tagged, well, the Chicago Bears are the number 1 team to land him at plus 300. The Bills not far behind at plus 400. And there's the Broncos at plus 500. So Denver, in terms of the odds makers in Vegas, are the 3rd favorite team to land the former 2nd overall pick out of Penn State. When we look at Barkley's career stats, 2022, like we said, was a really strong season for 26. 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. He averaged 4.4 yards a carry. That's coming off a really down 2021 season, which I just want to quickly plug. He had a torn ACL in 2020. That's why you don't see the stats there. And even in 2021, the next year, he was a shell of himself. So if we're expecting Williams to come back a year later and be 100%, you're going to be a bit disappointed. Now, Spotrac does contract projections, and I pretty much wholeheartedly disagree with them, but they are smarter than me when it comes to contracts, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And they think Barkley's going to catch a 4-year, $49 million contract. That's an average of 12.3. That average is right around where the franchise tag is for running backs, which is why the Giants may very well exercise that option on him. I think Barkley could get more money in free agency than just 12.3. So when it comes to paying running backs, should Denver sign an expensive running back? Whether it's Barkley, Josh Jacobs, right? One of these Miles Sanders, although he's not quite in that same tier, of $10+ million, even close to 14 or 15 a season backs. Is that something you're interested in? I want to hear from everyone watching, and while you're giving me your thoughts in the comment section, make sure you hit that sub button, because we are rolling out Broncos content all off-season long. With it being off-season mode and free agency and then the draft right around the corner, you won't want to miss a thing. So don't be the guy at the water cooler who has no idea that the Broncos are interested in this player or are looking at this player in the draft. You won't be that bozo when you're subscribed to the channel. Now, my stance on paying running backs, I don't think this is an unpopular opinion. I've never been a big fan of giving out big contracts for running backs. More often than not, we see it doesn't work. And there's a lot of times we think, but this is the exception, right? I think a lot of us thought, but Zeke's different. Zeke's not even 30, and he looks 50 the way he runs. Derrick Henry, he's the exception. Is Saquon Barkley the king? No, he's not far off from it, so it might not be the world's worst contract to give out, but talk to teams like Minnesota, Cincinnati, Dallas about the big money running back contracts they gave out. I bet they'd like to go back in time and undo that. We've got more analysis on this subject to get to in just a second, but I want to share with you guys what I think is a really cool Broncos zip-up hoodie. Now, producer Nick Roloff, the fashionista Rolly we like to call him here, he does not like this. He's not a fan of the zip-up. I like the zip. Why? Because if it gets hot, boom, zip it down, you're cool. If it's chilly, you're walking the dog and you're like, I didn't expect it to be so windy. Boom, zip up. It offers you flexibility. Rolly over here, he's either sweating bullets or he's freezing his ass off. So get it right now. Chatsports.com/BroncosZip. It's on sale. Sale might not last forever. I put that link for everyone in the comments and the description of today's show. So I want to use this next graphic as a reference point just to kind of give you guys a baseline of what running backs are getting right now. These are the 10 highest paid running backs on average per season. And Barkley is going to be looking to beat out, my guess, Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook at 4 and 5. I don't know if he's going to get McCaffrey $16 million. That's pretty up there. But he's definitely going to be making a good chunk of change. And he may ask to be the number 1 highest paid running back. And that wouldn't be, I think, an earth-shattering request for him to do. I don't know if any team is going to do that because we'll look at some of the other top paid running backs and they learn you kind of got burned on that deal. But he wants to make a jump into the double digits. And on the other hand, sure, you can go that route. You can give out a big expensive contract to a running back, but you can also go to the draft and find guys really cheap at the end of the draft. There are some misses, no doubt. It's not an absolute guarantee. But look at these day 3 picks from the last 2 drafts. Tyler Allgeier in round 5. He ended the year as a no doubt workhorse running back. Isiah Pacheco was one of the last picks in the draft, and he rode the Chiefs all the way to a Super Bowl in the 4th quarter, running all over the Philadelphia Eagles. Khalil Herbert at times has outplayed David Montgomery, the number 1 back in Chicago. Elijah Mitchell, when he's healthy, he was a workhorse for the 49ers. And Kenneth Gainwell, I think he was even out snapping Miles Sanders in the Super Bowl, who they picked in round 2. The point being is you can find good quality running backs at the end of the draft. These guys run you a bill of $700,000 to $1 million a season, $700,000 to $1 million a season, not even $1 million, instead of paying $15 million for a guy like Saquon Barkley. Then there's this. I'm never opposed to running it back with Latavius Murray. I know he's a bit older. You might have squeezed the last little bit of juice you had in him, and it didn't work out too well the last time the Broncos brought back a veteran running back who everyone kind of thought was washed, and, well, his fumbles proved that. But if Latavius Murray wants to come back on a vet minimum and you want to roll with Latavius Murray and a day 3 running back waiting for Javonte Williams to return, I don't think that's the worst plan in the world. In fact, I would rather roll with an inexpensive running back. Doesn't have to be Latavius Murray. We can shoot or aim a little bit higher than that. And then see how Williams plays in 2024. Let's not just give up on him altogether. I have my concerns, no doubt about it. But let's see if in 2024 he looks like that 2nd round pick. And then Denver can maybe decide, you know what, we can probably get him for a bit cheaper now because he is coming off an injury not long ago. He hasn't put together a great portfolio to prove he should be getting $15 million a season. And Barkley will sound appetizing right now, but will he be in 2 or 3 seasons when he's a bit older and that contract is still relatively large? That's it for today's show. I'll let you guys sign off. We'll get you out of here, and we'll see everyone later with more Broncos news and rumors.